Meditation is a great mystery. It's a profound and unfathomable topic. The subject of meditation is the nature of the self. The object of meditation is also the nature of the self. And it is also that which unites the subject and the object. This is the meaning of vastness. At some blessed point, meditation is no longer practiced, but it is a full, palpable realization. No one knows how this mysterious condition of enlightenment is entered into, or how that great awakened condition enters into oneself. In some sense, we have to be anesthetized from being the observer of how this happens. It is in that great feeling of innocence and purity that the awakened condition is born. Even the tiniest peak at this process will disturb and abort it. It does not function while the intellect is scrutinizing. The intellect enters into a spontaneous state of self-surrender. In that state of self-surrender, the full reality then can give birth to itself without disturbance. So one really does become like a child before that vastness. Once meditation is truly triggered, it keeps on happening spontaneously over and over again until this self-culmination of profound awakenness occurs. This is really an ecstatic topic. How one comes to be able to live so close to the edge of one's life that even living day by day is like a near-death experience. One has become so thin, so translucent, so vulnerable, that the reality, the cosmic reality, can unveil itself through your awakened life. It is an excruciating state to live in. one is no longer kept safe and protected. This continuity of spontaneous meditation weans us off the addiction on illusion, the addiction of imagination, the addiction of fear, the addiction of pleasure, the entire addiction of conceptual reality. To be thrust from the conceptual into the real is the essence of the awakened life. It is one thing to be self-realized. It is still another to be given the awakened heart consciousness. Self-realization is an empty barrel, and the awakened heart consciousness is like a barrel swirling with light and bliss and energy. It is a state of being intoxicated in God, of abiding in God consciousness. The more you have drunk of this inner emptiness, this void consciousness, this state of eternal nothingness, the deeper that has gone into you, the more profoundly you may become inebriated later on in the resuscitated condition of the awakened heart, Divine Mother consciousness. Self-realization is non-incarnated bliss, and the awakened heart consciousness and the Divine Mother is incarnated bliss consciousness. Right in this moment, in this spacious moment, this innocent moment, this non-moment, one can feel that something is arising as consciousness. Not as some experience in consciousness, but as consciousness. One can feel this thrill moving through the unmanifest, through the invisible. There have been great poets and sages and mystics who have sung this immensity. It sounds extraordinary. It is bliss beyond the superlative. Until one dies into pure realization forever. You will wonder where your practice of meditation has gone. As the self is unfolding itself to itself from within itself, you will have all these realizations of a transcendental nature. that you are the state of being itself, that there is no other, no separation, no sense of otherness. There's nothing with a big N. When you graduate into the actual embodied fullness of meditation, then the divine has adopted your life. The divine consciousness has then swallowed you, and then it speaks its truth as your existence, as your life. So as you can imagine, every conceivable fear will arise in that process. You will have the fear of being extinguished forever, or the fear that you may never be extinguished forever. You will be backed into a corner where everything about you comes under scrutiny, the scrutiny of consciousness itself, to reveal the whole nature of human functioning, the whole nature of the urge toward survival, the urge toward pleasure, the urge toward pain and its avoidance. Everything will be brought into this magnified perception in the present moment. In this present moment, everything becomes stark and real for the first time. Right, your question was, does this feeling of does the ability to retain discernment disappear in the state of devotion? Correct. That was one of the good questions that you had asked. Right. And also whether you lose pure awareness.
That's correct.
And then I said that when you put devotion together with pure consciousness awakening, you get a qualitatively different state that arises, totally different than those two next to each other.
Correct, or added together.
Which means that they have become something greater, both of them. It sounds so simple what we're saying, yes. But it's not. I mean, it is.
Yes. I had operated from a dualistic system.
That's okay. That's all we have to go on.
Yeah.
As soon as we open our mouth, we're put into this dualistic state together. Right. But you'll see that the energy never ceases. The transmission of the full reality here will not stop. It will not pause. It will just continue in its own way. We just sense each other here. It's so easy. We listen, we talk, we hear what isn't being said. Sometimes we'll feel ourselves just arising pure consciousness.